This is the Dive Into Discovery podcast, where curiosity meets insight, and every conversation uncovers a new layer of understanding.
All right, strap yourselves in, because today we're taking a deep dive into something truly mind-boggling, the multiverse. We're talking about the possibility that our universe, with its swirling galaxies and cosmic lattes, is one of countless others out there. We've got a mountain of research and theories to sift through, and trust me, it's going to get weird.
It's definitely a captivating idea, the sheer scale of it. It's enough to send shivers down your spine. But the burning question is, how much of this multiverse talk is based on solid science, and how much is pure speculation?
Okay, so before we get lost in this cosmic sea of infinite possibilities, let's start with the basics. What exactly are we talking about when we say multiverse, and what are some of the different types that scientists are tossing around?
Well, imagine a reality where you didn't hit snooze this morning, where you aced that job interview, or maybe even one where you're a rock star instead of a podcast listener. That's the essence of the multiverse, the idea that our reality is just one of many coexisting universes, each potentially with different physical laws, different outcomes, and maybe even different versions of you.
Whoa, hold on a second. Different versions of me. So, there's a universe out there where I'm rocking out on stage instead of geeking out over podcasts. I mean, that's kind of awesome and a little terrifying. Tell me more about these different types of multiverses.
Let's start with those parallel universes you mentioned. Think of it like the movie Sliding Doors, where Gwyneth Paltrow's character lives two completely different lives based on whether she catches a train or not. In the multiverse, every quantum event, every tiny decision could split reality, creating a new universe where things play out differently.
Okay, so that's one flavor of the multiverse. What else is on the menu? You mentioned something about bubble universes. That sounds pretty trippy.
Picture a pot of boiling water. Each bubble that forms and expands is like a universe. And our universe is just one bubble in a vast cosmic foam bath. This idea comes from the theory of eternal inflation, where different regions of space are constantly inflating and expanding, creating these separate bubble universes with their own unique properties.
So it's like each bubble has its own set of rules, its own physics playbook. That's incredible. Are there any other mind-bending multiverse theories we should be wrapping our heads around?
Hold on tight, because things are about to get really strange with the many worlds interpretation. This one comes from the realm of quantum mechanics, where things get fuzzy and uncertain at the subatomic level. Imagine every time a quantum event happens, like an electron choosing to spin one way or another, reality splits, creating two new universes, one for each possible outcome. It gets pretty wild, pretty fast.
Whoa, okay. So with every tiny decision, every quantum hiccup, reality is branching off, creating this insane web of countless universes. I'm already feeling a little dizzy. But tell me, are there any actual scientific theories that lend some weight to these mind-blowing multiverse ideas, or is this all just a fun thought experiment?
It might sound like science fiction, but there are actually some pretty solid scientific theories that hint at the possibility of a multiverse. Let's start with string theory.
String theory. That's the one where everything is made of tiny, vibrating strings.
Right.
Sort of like a cosmic symphony.
You got it. Now, some versions of string theory predict that these tiny strings vibrate in multiple dimensions, not just the three spatial dimensions in time that we experience. And guess what? These extra dimensions could actually fold and curl up in different ways, creating different universes with different physical properties.
Wait, so there could be a universe out there where gravity is super weak, like you could jump to the moon, or one where the speed of light is totally different.
Exactly. And it gets even weirder. Some physicists propose that every mathematically possible universe actually exists. This is what physicist Max Tegmark calls level 5 multiverse, where reality is literally limited only by imagination, or its mathematical possibility.
Okay, that's definitely pushing the boundaries of my imagination. So we got string theory potentially backing up the multiverse. What other heavyweight theories are in the ring?
Well, we've already touched on eternal inflation. The idea that different regions of space keep inflating at different rates, leading to the formation of those bubble universes we talked about earlier.
Right. Like blowing up a cosmic balloon and having some parts puff out faster than others, creating separate bubble universes. Got it. And then there's quantum mechanics, which feeds into the mini-worlds interpretation with all those branching realities.
Right. You nailed it. Quantum mechanics is a real game changer when it comes to the multiverse, because it suggests that at the subatomic level, reality is not fixed and deterministic. It's probabilistic, meaning anything that can happen does happen in some universe.
Okay, my brain is officially in multiverse overdrive, so.
We've got some serious theoretical firepower supporting these mind-blowing ideas. But let's get real for a second. Can we actually prove any of this? Can we see these other universes? Take a peek through a cosmic telescope. That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the answer is, not directly. Our current understanding of physics and the limitations of our technology prevent us from directly observing other universes. It's like being on a boat in the middle of the ocean. You can only see a small circle of water around you, even though you know there's a vast expanse beyond your horizon.
See, and even if these other universes are out there, we're kind of stuck in our own little cosmic bubble for now. That's both frustrating and exciting at the same time. But are there any hints, any clues that might point us towards the multiverse?
There are some intriguing pieces of the puzzle that are worth considering. For example, let's talk about the anthropic principle.
Okay, the anthropic principle. Lay it on me. What's that all about?
Well, it's a bit of a head-scratcher, but it basically says that the reason our universe seems so perfectly fine-tuned for life, with all the right physical constants and laws, is simply because we're here to observe it. In other words, if those constants were even slightly different, life as we know it wouldn't exist, and we wouldn't be here having this conversation.
So, it's like we won the cosmic lottery.
Yeah.
Out of all the possible universes, we just happen to be in the one that's perfect for us.
That's one way to look at it. And this leads some people to think, well, maybe there are countless other universes out there with different constants, and we just happen to exist in the one that's hospitable to life.
That's definitely food for thought. So, we've got this fine-tuning mystery, which could be a hint pointing towards the multiverse. Are there any other clues we should be looking for?
Well, there's another mind-blowing possibility to consider, and it involves those cosmic behemoths we call black holes.
Wait, black holes? Those things that gobble up everything in their path, even light. How could they possibly be connected to other universes?
It's a truly wild concept. Some theories suggest that the singularity at the heart of a black hole, where matter is compressed to an infinitely small point, might not be an endpoint, but a gateway to another universe.
Whoa, so instead of being crushed into oblivion, you might end up in a whole new reality. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Although,
Yeah.
I'd probably want to pack a cosmic snack for the journey.
Well, it's all highly speculative, of course, but it's a fascinating idea to consider. And it ties into another intriguing concept, quantum fluctuations and the birth of universes.
Okay, slow down for a second. What are quantum fluctuations, and how could they possibly create entire universes?
Imagine a pot of water, just about to reach a boil. Tiny bubbles are constantly popping up and disappearing. Those are like quantum fluctuations happening at the subatomic level. Now, imagine one of those bubbles getting so big that it creates a whole new pot of water. That's kind of like a new universe being born.
That's a pretty wild analogy. So
Yeah.
these tiny quantum fluctuations, which are happening all the time, could be spitting out new universes left and right.
Exactly. It's a mind-boggling idea, but it's one that some physicists take very seriously.
All right. My head is officially spinning with all these multiverse possibilities. Black holes as portals, quantum fluctuations creating universes, and the idea that every mathematically possible reality exists somewhere out there. It's all so incredible. And yet, as you said, we can't directly observe any of this. What do the critics have to say about the multiverse? Are they just as excited, or are they a bit more grounded in their skepticism?
Well, as with any groundbreaking idea, there are plenty of critics who raise valid concerns about the multiverse. One of the main points of contention is the issue of testability.
Right. I can see their point. It's kind of like saying, hey, there's an invisible dragon in my garage, but you can't see it or hear it or feel it. Pretty hard to prove.
Exactly. Without direct observational evidence, some argue that the multiverse remains a fascinating philosophical concept, but not a scientifically validated theory. And there are also alternative explanations for some of the phenomena that multiverse proponents point to, like the fine-tuning of physical constants.
So, maybe there's some underlying principle or law of nature that we haven't discovered yet. Something that explains why our universe seems so perfectly tailored for life.
Without needing to invoke the multiverse.
That's the argument some physicists make. They believe that with further research and deeper understanding, we may find a more elegant, more parsimonious explanation for the mysteries of our universe.
All right, so multiverse is facing some serious challenges. But even if we can't definitively prove it yet, it's still a pretty captivating idea to explore.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The multiverse has captured the imaginations of scientists and the public alike. And even if it turns out to be a purely theoretical construct, it's an incredibly valuable thought experiment that pushes the boundaries of our understanding.
Oh, I'm hooked. We've explored the different types of multiverses, delved into some of the supporting theories, and acknowledged the criticisms. Now I'm ready to dive even deeper into this mind-boggling topic. What other multiverse mysteries await us? Ugh! We've only just scratched the surface. Get ready for even more mind-bending possibilities as we delve into some of the most fascinating, perhaps unsettling, implications of the multiverse. Let's dive into some of the weirder corners of multiverse theory. Remember that physicist Max Tegmark? He came up with a way to categorize all these wild multiverse ideas.
Right, like organizing the cosmic junk drawer. Didn't he have those multiverse levels?
Exactly. Tegmark breaks down the multiverse into 4 levels, starting with the simplest, and getting progressively more mind-blowing. Level I is basically the idea that there are regions of space beyond what we can observe. More of the same, just outside our cosmic reach.
Okay. That's kind of like saying there are more planets beyond our solar system.
Right.
More of the universe, just farther out than our telescopes can see.
Exactly. Then we bump up to level 2, where things get more interesting. This is where we get universes with different physical constants, like we were discussing earlier with string theory. Imagine a universe where gravity is so weak, you could dunk a basketball from Earth to the moon.
Wow. Sign me up for that universe.
Yeah. Okay.
And then things get really crazy with level 3.
Right.
That's the mini-worlds interpretation with all those branching realities.
That's the one where every quantum event splits reality, creating a new universe for every possible outcome. It's like a cosmic choose-your-own-adventure book, where every choice spawns a new story.
So there's a universe out there where I ordered pizza instead of salad for dinner last night, and another one where I actually won that lottery ticket.
Oh, potentially. And then we reach the peak of mind-boggling weirdness. With Tegmark's level 4 multiverse, this is where every mathematically consistent structure, every logically possible world, actually exists as a separate universe. It's like saying reality is limited only by imagination.
Okay, I think my brain just did a somersault.
Yeah.
To recap, we've got these 4 levels of multiverse madness, from extra regions of space to universes where the laws of physics are totally different, to a reality where literally anything goes. And this is all based on, at least in part, on some pretty reputable scientific theories.
That's right. But remember, even with these theoretical frameworks, there's still a lot we don't know. And as we've discussed, there are plenty of critics who argue that the multiverse is untestable and ultimately unscientific.
Right, the invisible dragon in the garage problem.
But even with those criticisms, it's hard not to be intrigued by the sheer scope and strangeness of the multiverse. Are there any other specific examples or theories that really highlight the potential weirdness of all this?
Well, we briefly touched on black holes as potential gateways to other universes. Some physicists believe that the singularity at the center of a black hole could be a point where space and time as we know them break down, creating a bridge to another reality.
So, falling into a black hole might not be a one-way ticket to oblivion, but a wild ride to another universe. That's kind of terrifying, but also kind of awesome. Is there any way we could ever test this idea? Well, it's highly unlikely that we'll be sending probes into black holes anytime soon. But there are some theoretical models that suggest we might be able to detect subtle gravitational waves or other distortions in space-time caused by the interaction of black holes with other universes.
Okay, so maybe someday we'll have some concrete evidence, but for now, it's more of a wait-and-see situation. What other wild multiverse ideas are out there?
Well, one particularly intriguing concept is that our universe might be just one of many that have been created through a process called eternal chaotic inflation. This theory suggests that the universe is constantly undergoing a kind of quantum bubbling, with new universes popping into existence all the time.
Whoa. It's like a cosmic bubble bath where new universes are constantly forming. That's a pretty wild image. But what does it mean for us? If there are all these other universes out there, does that change anything about our understanding of our own reality?
That's a great question. And it gets to the heart of why the multiverse is such a compelling and thought-provoking idea. Even if we can't directly observe these other universes, the very concept forces us to reconsider our place in the cosmos.
Right. It's like realizing that your hometown isn't the only place in the world. It opens up a whole new perspective.
Exactly. And it raises some pretty profound questions about the nature of reality itself. If there are countless other universes out there with different physical laws and potentially even different versions of ourselves, does that change how we view our own lives and choices?
That's a really deep question. It makes you wonder, if our decisions really matter, if there are infinite versions of ourselves out there making different choices.
It's certainly something to ponder. And this is where the multiverse concept crosses over from science into philosophy, ethics, and even existentialism.
It's like the ultimate what-if scenario blown up to cosmic proportions. So we've covered the theoretical frameworks, the potential evidence, and some of the mind-bending implications. But what about the challenges and criticisms?
Well, as we've discussed, the biggest hurdle for multiverse theory is the issue of testability. Many critics argue that without the ability to directly observe other universes, the multiverse remains a speculative idea, not a scientifically validated theory.
Right. It's hard to argue with that. But even if we can't prove the multiverse definitively, is there any value in exploring these ideas?
Yeah.
Even if they're purely theoretical?
Absolutely. Even if the multiverse turns out to be a purely theoretical construct, it still has the power to expand our thinking and challenge our assumptions about reality.
Okay. So even if the multiverse is just a thought experiment, it's a pretty powerful one. It makes you wonder about the limits of knowledge and what we can truly know about the universe.
Exactly. And it encourages us to be humble in the face of the vastness of the cosmos and the incredible complexity of reality.
So where do we go from here? We've explored the different types of multiverses, considered the evidence, and weighed the criticisms. What are the next steps in this cosmic quest?
I think the most important thing is to keep asking questions, keep exploring new ideas, and keep pushing the boundaries of our understanding.
That's like we're setting sail on an uncharted cosmic ocean.
Yeah.
With endless possibilities ahead of us.
Exactly. And who knows what amazing discoveries await us on this journey.
So here we are. We've journeyed through all the swirling theories in the multiverse, pondered black holes as cosmic doorways, and we even considered the possibility of infinite versions of ourselves out there making different choices. It's enough to make your head spin. So what's the big takeaway from all of this?
Well, I think what's really fascinating here is that the multiverse, even if we never directly observe another universe, it still kind of shifts our perspective. It forces us to question, our assumptions about the uniqueness of our own reality. It's a bit like how the discovery of other galaxies changed our view of our own Milky Way. Suddenly, our little corner of the cosmos wasn't the only game in town.
You're saying the multiverse is more like a mental tool than a definitive answer.
In a way, yes. It's a framework for thinking about the vastness of what we don't know, for pushing the boundaries of our scientific models. And it really encourages us to embrace the mystery and the possibility that our universe is just one tiny piece of a much larger puzzle.
Okay, that's a pretty profound shift in perspective, but let's bring it down to earth for a second. For the average person, just going about their day, what's the relevance of pondering alternate realities and bubble universes?
That's a great question. I think if we connect this to the bigger picture, it boils down to a sense of awe and wonder. The multiverse reminds us that reality is far more complex and mysterious than we often assume. It encourages us to stay curious, to keep asking questions, and to never stop exploring the unknown.
I love that. It's not just about the science. It's about embracing the mystery and the possibility of something truly extraordinary, beyond our current understanding.
Exactly. It's about cultivating a sense of humility in the face of the vastness of the cosmos and recognizing that, our journey of discovery is far from over.
Well, I'm definitely feeling a sense of cosmic wonder right now. Any final thoughts you want to leave our listeners with?
If the multiverse is real, what does that tell us about the nature of existence itself? Is our reality just one of an infinite number of possibilities? And if so, what does that mean for the choices we make and the lives we lead?
Whoa. Those are some heavy questions to ponder. It's almost like the multiverse gives every decision we make a kind of cosmic significance.
That's really for each of us to decide. Perhaps it adds weight to every choice, knowing that infinite possibilities are branching out from each decision. Or maybe it instills a sense of liberation, knowing that every path, every outcome exists somewhere. The beauty of the multiverse is that it leaves us with more questions than answers, inviting us to contemplate the profound mysteries of existence.
Well said. And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder those infinite possibilities. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the multiverse. Until next time, keep looking up and keep asking questions.
What did you think of this week's episode? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to join us next time as we dive even deeper. And as always, stay curious, because you never know what discoveries are just around the corner.